You're listening to the Cricket Podcast.
Welcome back, everyone, to the T20 World Cup preview. We've done 3 teams. We've done Group A. We're going to move on to another group in a second. Before we do, just a reminder, click like and subscribe if you're watching on YouTube. Click follow if you're on Spotify or Apple, and do leave us a review. We want to keep those reviews coming in, keep driving the podcast forward, please. Should we go to Group B? Obviously, the theme of this podcast is the slightly smaller nations, so we will be foregoing the opportunity to talk about Australia and England, or delaying, maybe. We will be talking about Namibia, Oman, and Scotland. Roths, I bet Max, we've not heard from you. There's no drilling. Oman.
Yeah, let's take the gap while it's here. Oman, they are, as you said, in Group B, and they will be rocking the usual Oman kit. Really, it's pretty plain and it's red with green trim. So they hate colorblind people. That's the story of the Oman kit. Their journey to the World Cup was mirrored Nepal's journey to the World Cup, who we'll get to later. But they were in the Asia qualifiers. They were in Nepal's group, and Oman were undefeated throughout. They beat Nepal, Malaysia, and Singapore in their group, and they thumped Bahrain by 10 wickets in the next round to confirm their place in the World Cup. And then they overcome Nepal again on a super over in the final. 184 aside, Oman racked up 21 in their 6 balls, which Nepal did not get anywhere near. So they did pretty well, and they come. So players to look out for. I don't know if you remember Oman, but they were at the World Cup last time out in the preliminary stage, and there's been a couple of changes. Akib Ilyas has taken over the captaincy from Zishan Maqsood, although he is still in the squad. He's probably their best player. Ilyas, he's a batting all-rounder, scored well in the last couple of years. He's also bowled at a miserly economy rate of about 5.9 in the last 2 years, so pretty handy with the ball. Their most explosive batter, probably Naseem Kushi. You might remember him from last time. He's 41 now. Bilal Khan, he's
I remember Bilal. I certainly remember Bilal.
Left-arm Yorkers. He's made a name for himself as a left-arm Yorker man. He's 37. There's a theme here. If you remember
TSK
Oman,
like this team, don't they?
Yeah. If you remember the Oman last time, though, do you remember a guy called Jatinder Singh?
Oh, we do remember Jatinder Singh.
Yeah, no room for him this year, unfortunately. He was a good fun opener. He had a catch celebration like Shikhar Dhawan, but he's been crap in the last 2 years. So no Jatinder. I'm sorry to say, it's a shame. But so they're lining up against England, Australia, Scotland, and Namibia in their group, and they're quite a few places below Scotland and Namibia in the ICC rankings, which are obviously the best way of measuring the quality of a cricket team.
Yeah, the ICC rankings very good.
Yeah, that does kind of give you an idea of where their chances lie. They're not going to win the World Cup. I think it's safe to say. They could pick up a win against Scotland or Namibia, but I wouldn't. They're not going to be favourites in either of those games. Although they've got the ability to beat these sides. But I don't think they've got a big upset in them. And the fact that they're so old, it can't be a good thing, right? Of the 15-man squad, 4 of them are under 30. 6 of them are over 35, of whom 2 are over 40.
So we're saying fielding might be a problem, Max. Is that what you're saying?
Yeah. Well, you might be hiding a few people at short fine leg and short third ban.
I like it.
I'd say. But
if
it's what you've got, it's what you've got.
Who is now the wrong side of 30, I think it's inspirational to have people 10 years older than me playing in a World Cup. I think it's still...
How long would you have to spend in Oman, do you think, before you would get a call up? How long
that's not what I'm driving at. Criteria? I'm just saying it's sadder and sadder every year, isn't it? When when you realise how far past it you are in the sporting sense, how old you are basically in terms of any athletic endeavour you might try and do. Like best case scenario, Max, you get like a ranking for Ironman category age 40 to 45. That is the best we can hope for in our sporting futures.
Yeah,
This guy's gonna be rocking
knowing
it
that
at a
you'll
World
only
Cup.
ever be
So
slower
don't
than
knock
you are
it.
now is
Don't
sad,
knock it.
isn't it?
Yeah, don't knock
Good.
it.
Well,
Fast
that
food
was a
relay.
nice reminder of our own mortality. Fast food. So yeah, like I said, I mean, you guys have gone. You've taken the actual like food stuff route for this. I've gone for a more branded approach on the fast food, but I mean that's fine. We can interpret it how we like. It's a stupid segment. It's for fun. So
Thanks for
Oman,
reminding us that
yeah,
we're not actually doing this seriously.
yeah. Well, just in case anyone out there listening for the first time thinks that this is us being straight down the middle. You know, it's hard sometimes,
It's all
Jack.
useful as a cricket
Sometimes,
analytical
Jack,
tool.
it's not always obvious, is it?
Oh yeah, America, their ribs. That's what you need to know about American cricket team.
Well,
So, Max, who are they?
Oman. Oman. I've got Oman. I've pinned them down as White Castle because they're one of the oldest fast food franchises in America. 1921, they were founded, and you know, you probably haven't heard of them, but if you have, it might be because of Harold and Kumar Went to White Castle, which is a film that exists and is fine. And Oman are here, and they're fine, and that's Oman. White
Okay,
Castle.
Max.
Nicely done.
I think that's Oman. That's some Oman content. There. We'll be shooting up the charts in Oman after that segment. Ross, Scotland. Can you top that?
I'm going to try
to follow.
Yeah, I'm going to try to have a slightly better synopsis than just Oman equals old. That's what I took away from that segment. Scotland.
I'm glad that you got what I was going for, though, Ross.
So Scotland, they won 6 out of 6 in the European qualifiers, topping their group. They truly mean business. They are ragged. They literally are spunky. They literally want to take on the world, is what Scotland want to do. And they are going to be a thistle in the side of many teams at this World Cup. They have got a bluey, purpley, pink ensemble for the World Cup. Helpfully, all of the social media for Scotland has been taken down. So when I was trying to look for a little bit more evidence around this, it's a bit of a pain. So we don't know what's going on at Cricket Scotland, but who knows?
The kit is good.
Yeah, the kit is good. So if you want to go for but if you're, it's again, if you're taking down all of your social media like 5 days before the World Cup, what's gone on? Are you doing like a big grand reveal? Are the McKinsey consultants back in here, lads? And they go, do you know what? It's all about razzle dazzle. Don't know. The players we need to look out for though are actually I think they're quite well known. Actually, Brad Wheel, who's rocked out his paces on more than one occasion. George Munsey, who we know loves a reverse sweep and a sweep shot. That is what we learned from last time out when they were playing. And we've got a friend of the pod, guys, on the Scottish team. Right, it's a left armour, Mark Watt, who has made a bit of a name for himself by bowling from 24 yards instead of 22, and will look to get a canny wicket or two. They have got a team which is full of grafters, is how I'd probably put it. There's a lot of kind of a fight in here, and you would have seen at the last World Cup where they were plucky. The likes of Chris Greaves, who got them out of a hole and managed to turn them into a victory before. Always around the squad, Michael Leask as well. So there's people that people will recognise. Chance-wise, they are in a group with Australia and England, Namibia and Oman. I think that it would be very surprising for them to manage to string together the results required to get out of this group. But I do think they are going to be a bit of a pain because they've got some decent players. And if the pitches go their way, actually could be quite effective in a low-scoring game. But if I'm perfectly honest, they are certainly only better than Oman in their group. I'm not sure they're quite better than Namibia, if I'm perfectly honest. And England,
a good game.
Yeah, England and Scotland is always a good game, regardless of the sport. And Australia, just Australia. So yeah, I think that they would do well to win 2 games out of the group. Would be my view. What are your guys' thoughts about Scotland?
I like Scotland.
Hmm.
They've got some good players.
How old are they?
That's a good question. Yeah, there's a few older blokes in there, I'm sure. Richie Berrington's been around for ages, isn't he? He's in the squad.
He is. He's captain.
Yeah. So no, but they've got quality. Like they've got decent all rounders. They've got spinners who are handy. Like Mark Watt, for example. He's tricky. He'll be tricky for anyone to get away. Very very clever bowler, and they've got a bit about them with the bat. I wonder if maybe pace bowling could be a bit of a problem for them. But again, it depends. If the pitches go the right way, I reckon they could be a handful.
Yeah,
So
Josh
I like
Davies.
Scotland. I like the way they play. I like the way they play their cricket.
They're kind of like luck now, is how I'd summarise them. Actually,
I don't like how they play their cricket anymore.
Yeah, if I was to compare them to a team like player for player and how they've made up their squad, I think luck now would be the way in which I kind of say it. But yeah, who knows? Jack, what about you? Scotland, fan or not?
They're all right. I think they might be a bit better than Namibia. So I think if I was going to say, I think Scotland will win 2 games at the World Cup. I think they'll play quite well against England because the old rivalry, and Australia v Scotland nailed on in the entire tournament. That's the most predictable win for one team over another. It's just, I don't know. It's something about national psyches involved there. I don't normally subscribe to it, but I know for sure that Australia are going to deal out a whipping to Scotland. That's just what's going to happen.
Even with Pro Evo Brendan McCullum, Brandon McMullen in the side.
Yeah.
Brandon McMullen.
It's going to happen. Fast food, Ross.
It's a bit of a difficult one because I'm not sure how I could put haggis into the thing. So it's not really a fast food, is it?
It's a deep fried Mars bar, isn't it?
But again, deep fried Mars bar, I think that's going to fall on deaf ears. It's not really a fast food that people know around the world, is it? So
maybe it's time we taught them about the deep fried Mars bar.
I think they are a sausage McMuffin, is what I think they are.
Okay.
Because one of their players could well be called that, right? So
that's the Brandon McMullen Pro Evo regen.
Okay, right. Look, I'm just going to nip this in the bud with Scotland and Oman. I don't know why, but we're closer to the line than we normally are with some of these comments. I think saying that Scotland could have a player called Sausage McMuffin is maybe just a step too far. They're a professional cricket team. We like Mark Watt. We want Scotland to do well.
I spent my childhood summers in Scotland, so I want these guys to do well. I do think that they will struggle to do any major impact on it, but they are a team of scrappers. So I'm looking forward to see what they've got to offer. And George Munsey's reverse sweep.
All right, cool. I'll quickly get through Namibia then. Namibia, it's a cool kit that they're going to be wearing. It's a bit like a paint job you'd put on your car in Gran Turismo.
Okay.
Yeah, lots of like angles and like flashes of color. Kind of looks metallic as well.
Yeah.
So
it's very sleek.
Interesting kit. Very sleek. Sleek is the word. Namibia won the African regional qualifier and they won it with ease. They just battered every team that they played against. Zimbabwe probably should have been the favourites for that. They turned out not to be anywhere near as good as Namibia. If you want to know some players, and it's quite nice actually. We've seen Namibia 3 times quite recently, so I actually have some familiarity with this team. I think they got through the group, didn't they, in the last tournament? So got some extra cricket against the big boys and did all right. Obviously, Gerhard Erasmus with the bat is one to look out for, and then with the ball, Ruben Trumpelman is probably the go-to guy, tall left arm seam bowler. They actually have 4 left arm seamers, which is I don't know what's happening in Namibia, but that's impressive. They've 25% of their team is left arm seamers. Good work, boys. And if you are not familiar with Namibia, the thing you really want to watch out for is with the bat is the bomb squad in the middle order. Kind of a cult hero, JJ Smith. Great name for a guy who basically whacks sixes. Who's coming in? JJ Smith. And obviously David Visa as well is potentially even a household name, I would say at this stage. He's got cachet in the world of cricket. So a decent team, lots of talent in that 11, and they've shown that they are capable of mixing it with the big boys when things work for them. They are a little bit maybe reliant on Visa turning up, but he's a good cricketer. He bats and he bowls and still working on his game, even though he is old, Max.
He is. That is a fact.
He's still a good bowler. They are having a warm-up game, I think, tomorrow against 7-man Australia. Australia, because of the IPL, haven't got any of their players in position yet. So Namibia are going to take on Australia, and Australia's physios and stuff are going to be playing for Australia. So what I'm saying, I think, is you might see a shock result coming up that Namibia have beaten Australia in a World Cup warm-up match. Don't read into that too much. Namibia are probably still about Scotland levels of talent, which is pretty good. And I think that sort of speaks to the kind of depth of quality that there is in T20 cricket on a global level at the moment. That there are actually 15 or 16 really good teams. Namibia are one of them, and it's not. I think they're another team. They should be targeting 2 wins at this World Cup. I think that is possible. They should be beating Oman. They've got a good match against Scotland that they could win, and it's not inconceivable that if things go really right for them, that they could trouble one of England or Australia too. Like it's maybe a 1 in 10 chance of them pulling up a really, really big upset like that. Fast food. Or do you want to? Have you got some words to say? Someone was taking a big breath. Ross, what are you going to say?
No, I just like the fact that this is a high variance as you get right now, and I think these teams actually have got the infrastructure and the players and the attitudes around it to actually cause an upset or two. And I'm hoping that this World Cup, because of the format, will actually offer 1 or 2 of those, because you don't want it just to be a procession, do you? And I think the change is actually quite a good one. Like last time, and I mean this in all due respect, the mini tournament to start to play the big boy tournament was a bit. It made things a bit too long, and after following the IPL, then having to follow a mini tournament, and then that would have been horrible. So I'm very, very glad of the format, and I think Namibia are actually one of the main beneficiaries out of that because of the way in which they play. And Trumpelman, if we go back a couple of years when he rocked onto the scene, people were shouting for him to get a contract in the IPL. So let's hold on to the dream for some of these Associate Nation cricketers.
He did go. I mean, he picked up a few gigs around the world. I think he played Desert Vipers and Vancouver Knights on his list of teams. So he got a little bit of interest on a global scale. Did Trumpelman? If they were going to be a fast food, they're the classic cheeseburger, I reckon. Like just a staple team now of major international tournaments. They're just good. It's a good thing. You're never going to say, I had a bad cheeseburger. And you're never going to say, I had a bad Namibia. That's my thinking there. We're going to take a break and then we'll come back with the smaller teams in Group C. Are we up to C? We are up to C.
Yep.